Imagine a mind so brilliant, it could see centuries into the future. Imagine someone outlining the very concept of software, before the world even conceived of a computer. This is the story of a figure, whose intellectual journey reshaped the landscape of technology. It's a story of vision, of intellect, and of a unique ability to see the poetry in numbers. Long before the first silicon chip was ever imagined, she laid the groundwork for the digital age we live in today. She saw the potential for machines not just to calculate, but to create. This is the story of Ada Lovelace, the visionary who coded tomorrow. Born in 1815, Augusta Ada Byron was the daughter of the famous, and famously romantic, poet Lord Byron. Her mother, an Isabella Milbank, herself a gifted mathematician often called the Princess of Parallelograms, was determined to steer her daughter away from the passionate, tumultuous world of poetry that defined Lord Byron. Instead, she orchestrated a rigorous education for Ada, one deeply rooted in logic, science, and mathematics. This was highly unusual for a woman in the 19th century. But it was this very education that forged a mind uniquely capable of bridging the analytical with the imaginative. Ada wasn't just taught formulas. She was taught how to think, how to question, and how to see the interconnectedness of seemingly disparate fields. This unique upbringing didn't suppress her imagination. It gave it a new language to speak in. Ada developed a philosophy she called poetical science, a profound belief that imagination and intuition were just as crucial as rigorous logic in the process of scientific discovery. This holistic approach, this fusion of two worlds, would become the key to her unparalleled insights and her lasting legacy. In 1833 London, amidst the bustling intellectual salons of the Victorian era, a pivotal encounter occurred that would change the course of history. Ada, then a bright and curious teenager of just 17, was introduced to Charles Babbage, a renowned inventor and mathematician. Babbage was a man consumed by a grand vision. He had already conceived of a colossal mechanical, calculating machine called the difference engine, designed to automate the production of mathematical tables. But his ambitions stretched even further. He showed Ada his plans for an even more radical concept, the analytical engine. The analytical engine was a truly revolutionary design. It was nothing less than the blueprint for a general-purpose mechanical computer. It featured concepts that are strikingly familiar to us today: a mill for carrying out calculations, akin to a modern CPU, and a store for holding numbers and results, which we would now call memory. It was designed to be programmable, using punched cards, an idea borrowed from the jacket loom. Babbage was the brilliant architect of the hardware, the man who dreamed up the gears and levers of this mechanical brain. But it would be Ada, with her unique perspective, who would unlock its true, profound potential, seeing far beyond its mechanical components to the abstract, symbolic power it held. Ada's most profound and enduring contribution emerged not from an original work of her own, but from her translation of an article. An Italian engineer named Luigi Menabrea had written a piece in French describing Babbage's analytical engine. When Ada was asked to translate it into English, she did something remarkable. She didn't just translate it. She expanded upon it, adding her own extensive set of notes. These notes, which she simply labeled A through G, ended up being 3 times longer than the original article itself. They were filled with her own thoughts, clarifications, and visionary predictions about the machine's potential. Within these notes, particularly in the one famously known as Note G, she accomplished something that had never been done before. She described a step-by-step sequence of operations for the machine to perform a specific, complex calculation, the computation of Bernoulli numbers. This wasn't merely a mathematical formula. It was a detailed, explicit algorithm, meticulously designed to be executed by a machine. She had considered how the machine would need to handle variables, how it would repeat a series of instructions in what we now call a loop, and how it would process the information sequentially. In essence, she was writing the world's first piece of software, a complete computer program, a full century before the first electronic computers would be built to run such things. Ada's genius truly blossomed when she articulated a concept that even Charles Babbage himself had unfully grasped. He saw his machine as a powerful number cruncher, a tool for automating complex mathematical tasks. Ada saw something more. She realized that the engine's power wasn't limited to numbers. She understood a fundamental principle of modern computing. If a machine could manipulate numbers, it could manipulate anything that could be represented by numbers. This meant the machine could process symbols, not just quantities. The logical operations of the machine could be applied to letters, musical notes, or any other abstract symbol. This was a breathtaking leap of imagination. Ada famously speculated that the analytical engine might compose elaborate and scientific pieces of music of any degree of complexity or extent. She envisioned a future where machines could create art, analyze language, and operate on the very fabric of logic itself. This was an astonishing prediction. She foresaw digital music, symbolic artificial intelligence, and creative computing over a century before their practical realization. She saw the machine not as a calculator, but as a universal tool, a partner in human creativity and inquiry. She was the first to glimpse the true, boundless potential of the computational age. Tragically, Ada Lovelace passed away at the young age of 36, and her extraordinary work, contained within those visionary notes, remained largely unappreciated for decades. Babbage's analytical engine was never fully built, and their shared dreams seemed to fade into the footnotes of history. However, the echo of her ideas was too powerful to disappear entirely. Her visionary notes were eventually rediscovered in the mid-20th century, influencing the very pioneers who would build the first electronic computers, like Alan Turing. They found in her writings not just a historical curiosity, but a clear articulation of the principles of general-purpose computation. Today, her concepts are the foundational DNA of every program, every app, and every single digital interaction we experience. Every time you listen to music on your phone, use a word processor, or see computer-generated art, you are witnessing the fulfillment of her prophecy. Ada Lovelace wasn't just the first programmer. She was the enchantress of numbers, who dared to dream of a computational future that we now live in. Her story is a powerful reminder that true innovation often comes from those who see possibilities where others only see limitations. Those who confuse logic with imagination to envision a world that does not yet exist. If you're fascinated by the hidden architects of our world, subscribe for more journeys into the past that shaped our future. What other unsung hero should we explore next? Tell us in the comments below.